Right, welcome back to a new video. If indeed you've been here before, if not, welcome along for the first time. In my previous video, I showed you some photos I took with the Ace Pro 2 in a local woodland using the mega sort of wide angle lens, which I can't seem to locate at the moment. And those photos, by the way, in a local Facebook group, I've had like nearly 2,000 likes, and I'm really happy, and I'm contemplating getting them printed as postcards or something. So I said in that video that I was going to go back with a longer lens. Most people taking photos of the bluebells had zoom lenses of some description, telephoto lenses to be precise. And on my Canon M50, which is quite an old now APS-C sensor mirrorless camera, I have a wider selection of more, let's say, traditional lenses rather than the action cam stuff. So I went back to the woods. I think it was actually 2 days later, and I took my telephoto lens. So this is a 100 to 200. Sorry, this is a 55 to 200 mil zoom. I have, and this is the native EFM mount for the Micro Four Thirds. I have a EFS mount, 10 to 18 mil, and I have a NIFTY 50. Both these are the old Canon DSLR mount that I used to have, and these attach via an adapter and give me something slightly different. I also took with me my kit lens. I didn't get much with the kit lens. I think where's the little switch? There's definitely one or two photos here in the kit lens, but not many. And I had the 22 mil with me again, but I didn't take any photos with that one. So anyway, without further ado, I'm just going to show you some of these photos, and hopefully you will enjoy them. I'm just going to run through them. There's maybe about 20 photos here, so I'll go through quite quickly, but I'm just going to talk you through what lens I used, and yeah, just some other stuff, and my thoughts really on each of these photographs really. So I might just move straight to the screen and not show me or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen right now. I'm just going to film me chatting. So this first couple of photos here are taken with the telephoto lens, because that was the main reason I went back. I wanted to see what it was that people were capturing with their long lenses in the woods. So luckily the sun was shining again, and I've taken a few shots where I've kind of zoomed into some stuff in the distance clearly. So capturing some sort of light and shade here. Quite like this actually. It's nothing particularly interesting in terms of the framing, but I just think it's really nice showing this big kind of shadow in the front, and then highlighting the sun coming through the trees into the rear part of the photo there. Quite like it. It's nothing special, but just something pleasing about it to me. This next three are all taken from the same spot using the telephoto lens, but just zooming in on various points of the same spot. So as you can see here from this first one, and I'm at about 100 mil here, 106 actually, I think it says. And I'm just kind of focusing, just looking down this little meandering path that's going through this little kind of small little valley here, if you like, for want of a better word, through the bluebells, and then kind of zooming in a bit more just on that little corner where you can see the bluebells there and the path. And now we're at 200 mil, and then another one at 200 mil, but I moved the camera a little bit closer. So something I've talked about in previous videos. This isn't a great example, but you know, you're taking three different shots of the same spot, and you get slightly different results. Actually, that was the end of the photos that I took with the telephoto lens. I did take a few more, but they didn't come out very good. I mean, those weren't particularly special, but that was all I took really with that lens. So I moved on then to my old favorite, which is wide angle photography. I wasn't going to do this today, but I couldn't go and take this camera without taking the wide angle lens. So we've got a few here now. Similar to the shots that I took with the Insta360, but now with the Canon lens. What I did notice with the Insta360 was the focal length, not the focal length, the focusing distance of that super wide angle lens meant that a lot of the stuff that was close to the lens was out of focus, but the focusing distance on this lens was something a little bit more closer to sort of like, 4 or 5 inches, and it just made the photos a little bit more interesting. So here we've got just an example of that, just looking up to the sky underneath some bluebells, and I've just tried to frame it here in a sort of like gap within the trees, and yeah, I think it looks quite nice. And then just a wide angle lens. Both of these, by the way, are taken at 10mm on this lens, so that's the widest end of this lens at 10mm, and that's on the APS-C sensor, which I think you need to multiply by 1.6, so that's technically 16mm wide, I think. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, and then there's just like a little view again across that little valley, again, for want of a better description. There's probably a term for that. I'm going to look it up and put it on the screen. What is the term for this little valley in the track there? I don't know what it is. I think this actually is the Wansdyke. I should know, but this is the Wansdyke here, and this is just a path alongside the Wansdyke. Now, the rest of these photos will all be taken. There may be 1 or 2 exceptions, but I think the rest of these photos will all be taken using my old favourite, this NIFTY 50 lens. So again, 50mm lens on this APS-C sensor, I think gives you around about a 70mm equivalent. When I first bought this lens for my my DSLR many years ago, it was practically welded to the camera, and it's fantastic. It's great. The shallow depth of field, most of these photos are taken at around f1.8, something around that kind of ballpark, and I just love this next selection of photos. Here I've just tried to focus on these 2 ladies here walking down this little track, and the camera just beautifully just kind of picks them out there and just subtly sort of blurs the bluebells out of focus to make you sort of focus a little bit on the people in the photo. A few easy ones now. It's so easy to focus in on a subject, get that that f1.8, and just with that light, just throw some things out of focus and get that lovely bokeh in the background. And I think these are easy photos to take, but they're actually some of the most effective. I really like these. Have a kind of I don't know. There's a sort of haze around them, which makes it look a little interesting. These actually almost look like water droplets on the back of this photo, and yeah, I really love it. I used a few presets within Lightroom that I downloaded from James Popsis a number of years ago, and I believe the one that I've used on a lot of these is Burnt Cinnamon, and you can see you get this kind of rich sort of like darker tones to the photos, and I just really love the look and feel that it gives to these. And again, I feel these are not fantastic, but it just seems so easy using that f1.8 to throw everything out of focus and just pick out a few little details in a scene. As I said in other videos, that what I like to do is try and do something that other people aren't doing, and taking big photos of carpets of bluebells is kind of fairly standard when you look at bluebell photos. So I thought I'd try and capture them in a slightly different way. So this old log with some bluebells next to it here. I don't know, there's something I like about it. Again, you've got this interest here just in the mid-ground, so to speak, because the foreground is out of focus. The rear, the bulk of the photo is all out of focus here, but it just kind of shows the the small flowers here in the vast forest. And yeah, I don't know, I like it. I've got a few more well, I've got quite a few of these kind of photos here, but just trying a few different angles of this kind of thing. Again, rather than a big carpet of them, just showing some sort of isolated bluebells, trying some different colors to see what they might look like in different backgrounds. I certainly like the darker background. However, some people might find this lighter one a bit more appealing. I'm not sure, but again, just trying to pick out some details rather than the vast sort of carpets of bluebells. I mean, what more do I need to say? I mean, this is f1.8. This is sitting there, and one thing's out of focus and the rest is out of focus. And yeah, I just like it. I don't know what other people think, but I like the kind of things here. I started to find a few that had this quite nice woody background, and they started to pop off it and give me something a little bit different. And this was the first one of those that I thought, this has some promise here. And then I took a few that are all kind of the same, but I think they might actually work as a little series of photos. And I've gone for some quite extreme cropping here. So I did crop a few of these to make them stand out a little more. And again, all of these are at 1.8. They're on the 50mm lens. And I'm really pleased. I think these are some of my favorite photos I've taken in a while here, and you can see how everything in the distance, all those trees have all been thrown out of focus, and the bluebells just, probably just a matter of inches away from the one here, also out of focus. And so there's a few different ideas and different framings of the similar thing, and yeah, I really like these images. I don't know what you think of them, but I like that kind of purpley, lilac-y colour against that sort of yellow colour. I think it pops and looks really nice. They really complement each other. Still sitting at 2.2 at the moment, but again, just taking some nice photos of the trees, getting that sort of limey, greeny colour coming through here with these leaves, and again showing some foreground interest, if you like, or disinterest in this instance, I suppose, by throwing things out of focus. But again, I quite like this kind of look. This is easy photography, if you ask me. If you've got one of these shallow depth of field lenses, go out there and just look at the details, find something that just looks interesting, and just blur everything else. I really love it. Photograph here is really of this little patch of light here, but showing a little interest here with the path going through the bluebells, and just the woods stretching off into the distance, but just really picking out this tree right in the middle and a little patch of sunlight. Just I don't know what you think. That was my second trip to the woods using my Canon M50. I still think this is a fantastic camera, and these lenses are really easy to pick up at quite a good value. So, if you're looking for an older camera and an older camera system, because they don't make the M50 anymore, something like this and this selection of lenses, I think is great. I can't see me ever getting rid of these unless they break and start to fail, if I'm honest. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I've been waffling on a little bit longer, but I just wanted to show you some more photos and try a little bit of a longer format video. Now I need to go and edit this to cut out all the ums and ahs, I suppose. See you soon.